And sorry guys, again, I have to touch this topic. It's important. It's very important. It could be even crucial for the further confrontations in Europe and escalation, which we witnessed. So this is the Russian Gerbera drone, which was found in Poland. Sometimes it may carry warhead, sometimes not. Confirmed to launch some of the Shahed drones together with Gerbera, which are usually used to attract attention of the air defense. So basically those, in this case, I guess dummies, but nevertheless, one of the drones confirmed to hit this household. Later I'm gonna show you more images of it. So it is a deliberate attack, of the Russian drones, which went to the Polish airspace from two of the countries, from Ukraine and from Belarus. And about the number of the drones, it was actually a huge number. Now experts and officials say something between 19 and 22. Well, Donald Tusk himself, Prime Minister of Poland, mentioned 19 of the drones. Well, maybe Russia sent those Gerbera drones mostly, but it doesn't cancel the fact of the deliberate attack. The remains of one of the drones were found far away from Ukrainian and Belarus border, actually 500 kilometers away from Ukraine. So drones penetrated really deep into the Polish territory. So far, 7 of the drone or drone debris were found. The rest are still in search. And if you wonder how many of the drones Polish air defense with the help of the other countries was capable to shut down, 4 F-35, F-16 surveillance airplanes, 4 from at least 19 of the drones. And what it tells us that Europe is not ready. It is not ready to intercept those drones on a daily basis like Ukraine does for extended period of time. It seems like Ukrainian air defense, after all, is the best one in the world. Ukraine uses different systems, aviation, FPV drones to hit all of those Shahed. So Poland and other neighboring countries, and not just neighboring because the range of the Shahed drones, it is quite long. So all of those NATO countries should introduce something new into their defense. Sadly, this occurrence may also drag some attention and resources, military equipment first of all, from Ukraine to protect our allies of NATO, like Poland, Baltic countries. Now they're kind of concerned, but still the main warfield is Ukraine, and drones are also flying in most of the cases via Ukraine. Sometimes also via Belarus, but we're gonna speak about Belarus a little later in this video. And it was my initial mistake. In my last video, I told that F-35 belonged to United States Army. No, it belonged to Netherlands, and at the end of the last video I told about it, just saying about it once again. Royal Dutch Air Force, Polish Air Force, and Italian surveillance airplanes, as well as, I guess, Polish surveillance airplanes were used. Also one of the air tanker to refuel F-35. And we have the statement from Polish politicians, from NATO officials. For example, Tusk, Prime Minister of Poland, mentioned that Poland was not attacked, but it was the large-scale provocation. Well, that's the weakest reaction possible. How many of the drones you really need to call it an attack, like it was close to 20 drones? Maybe you need 100 drones? 1,000? I mean, from what number of the drones or from what number of the Russian troops, Russian tanks on the territory of NATO, you may call it an attack, but not the large-scale provocation? Because, this, again, devastation on the ground, someone's building, a citizen of Poland, which is a NATO country, obviously. And this is the damage done on the Polish territory by the foreign state, Russian Federation, that purposely launched their drones to Poland to escalate. And I have some of the comments, oh, Dennis, what do you want NATO to do? You want to drag everyone to the Third World War. No, guys, inaction drags us to that war. You need to learn the history of the Second World War to understand that. I learned that history quite well in the school, and not only. It's my hobby to learn history. And that's why I'm so critical about NATO, about European bureaucrats, about American president and his circle, because I might draw the parallel between past time and between what is happening right now. Inaction and weakness creates more escalation from predator, which is in our case Russia. And again, I'm not saying that nuclear weapons should be used against Russia. No, that's real escalation, right? But we have the warfield, Ukraine, and Ukraine may respond on that with support of NATO, with weapons, with the long-range tools to hit Russian infrastructure, Russian drones. That's the only way possible for NATO to really respond at this stage. And also, why not to close the airspace over at least the vast part of Ukrainian territory, which is not far away from the Polish border, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia. It should be done now. NATO absolutely should show its strength to Putin, that there is some vivid, real action. But Poland officially announces that it invoked Article 4. Article 4 is not Article 5 even closer. Well, Article 5 itself is kind of fishy. You may read it out. It's not that far away from the Budapest Memorandum, which Ukraine signed, giving up all of the nukes. What does Article 4 mean is the consultations. Consultations and consultations. Partners of NATO, they gather, they think, they speak. Hungary says one thing, someone else says the other thing. By the way, the most powerful NATO member, the United States of America, is pretty much calm about the case by the time I'm recording this video. No White House official has condemned what happened in Poland the last night. Again, for this hour I'm recording. And I 100% agree with the statement of Andrew Perpetua, who is OSINT Analytics, who counts the losses of Russia and Ukraine in this war. He analyzes all of those drone videos and he follows this war very precisely. Well, he says if NATO does not make a firm boundary for Russia today as a result of the Russians' attack on Poland, then Russia will attack Poland again. And it is 100% NATO's fault. At some point, it's not even Putin's fault anymore. It's like dangling meat in front of the tiger. Yes, I always say that Putin is a predator, and here NATO is in the same cage with that beast. And Putin is not going to stop the war in Ukraine. He wants to escalate. He will escalate also in Ukraine, judging on the weak response of NATO. Just recall a few days ago, he hit the government building, Ukrainian ministry, right in the central part of the capital. So I expect more of that stuff, and probably Verkhovna Rada parliament building will also suffer in the coming days, weeks or months. We'll see. And of course, Russia will repeat what happened today. If they didn't hesitate to send 20 of the drones to Poland, just imagine what that number could be in the future if NATO continues to be so fluffy and so weak. And here's the CCTV camera of the drone. I took it from one of the Ukrainian channels, so it was the Kaboom, probably air defense in operation, some of the air-to-air missile launched from fighter jet. Yeah, expect more of that to happen, absolutely. The Article 4 means nothing. Article 5, well, maybe, but 4, it's really nothing. It's the weakest possible reaction. I understand that Poland is also tight in here because NATO itself, they don't want to escalate against Russia. There are multiple of the countries, multiple of the bureaucrats who still want to appease the aggressor. And politicians, the same thing. I think yesterday it was the interview recorded with J.D. Vance, who continued to say that they're going to press Russia and Ukraine until Donald Trump reaches some sort of the peace agreement between those two countries. But it's unreal, guys. So not only Ukraine is being attacked by Russia, but it also gets pressed by United States administration. And yes, here we have the information that at least 20 of the drones violated Polish airspace, and most likely 23 totally. And Reuters, in reference to the high NATO officials, also confirmed that they do not count it as an attack on Poland, but for them it is a large-scale escalation, as well as for Prime Minister of Poland. By the way, Polish president, I call him the snooze guy, is the same. He said that the national security of Poland will meet within the next 2 days. 2 freaking days by the time Poland was really attacked by Russia. Well, luckily not 2 weeks, but 2 days, but still it's too late because Russia may launch the same attack this night, the day after tomorrow, anytime. So the snooze guy tells that detailed information about events in Poland will become available after the meeting, so after 2 days. And guys, here I'm critical about politicians, about those bureaucrats, officials, and not about the countries, like, for example, Poland. Poland is a great country with wonderful people, but politicians, yeah, you see the reaction, right? So I don't like those politicians, those bureaucrats. Well, there are some good and sane bureaucrats, also smart, like Kaja Kallas, who says that Ukraine should be supported more to counteract to the Russian threats, Russian drones, missiles, to protect the European allies as well. But whether her voice would be heard among other bureaucrats, whom are tons in EU and everyone is dragging to own direction, well, I have huge doubts about it. Is it really a joke? No, it's an official statement of Mark Rutte, who is the Secretary of NATO. He stated that the last night shows that we are capable to protect NATO territory and airspace. Prepare to protect it on a regular basis then. So according to NATO, it wasn't a Russian attack really, but provocation. Why you protect the skies and NATO territory from what? From provocation or from attack after all? Guys, do we live in a dream or a bad trip? Maybe it's oral novel. We are all in together. Where on black they say white, on white black, and so on. So it's not an attack, it's the provocation. Those are not the Russian drones, but the air targets from someone, yeah? I thought that we really cannot go lower than that, but we hit the bottom. And as I said to you before, Russian side via Belarus officials now stated that those drones were deviated with the help of the electronic warfare of Ukraine. Belarus General Muravyka says that, yeah, it happened like that. Russian drones under some sort of the interference went to the airspace of NATO, but at the same time, Belarus military sent the coordinates and the information about the targets to their partners of NATO. Wow. Clearly, they're making this thing up, and Belarus did absolutely nothing to prevent the strikes on Poland. As estimated before, and now it's been confirmed by the Kremlin spokesman Peskov, Russia did absolutely nothing. He mentioned that NATO and the European Union accuse Russia of the wrongdoing every day, and it is one more provocation. So NATO says about provocation as well as Poland, and Russia says about provocation. Everyone is provocating each other. So do not believe your eyes. This is not the Russian drone with the marking EE32384. No, it's just a provocation. You see how Russia openly humiliates West, NATO, democracies. The United States officials simply avoid even speaking about it. NATO is very weak. Poland also says it wasn't the attack. So more to come, guys, unfortunately. And in this case, like before, I was absolutely sure that Belarus military drills would be more or less okay with just a few of the real provocations, not the attacks, but provocations. But now I'm not sure. There could be attacks, which in general is not good. The Russian dictator is insane, and actually Russia has lots of the resources. They might mobilize lots of the army men, like millions, if they really want to. They will still have the support from Asian countries like India and China. Yes, Putin may do it. We should look at it as on a serious, very dangerous threat. But sadly, it seems like democracies are too weak to react properly, guys. I recorded this video with less emotions, guys. I'm frustrated, actually. I understand what is coming, and guys, please prepare. Prepare for escalation. Because with this reaction, it will happen 100%, absolutely. And guys, please check out my channel where I already filmed a video about the case early morning, then it was the hot breaking news, and now we spoke about the aftermath. And also you may support my job on Patreon, the link for it is in the video description below. That is how you motivate me to film more. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky, wherever you are, and have a great time.